Real quick, I want you to think about the last thing that you did that you knew wasn't right. And I'm not talking about something big and obvious. I'm talking about the little stuff. The thing you did because you told yourself that it was fine. The thing that you did because technically no one was stopping you. You could, so you did. Maybe it worked out for you and maybe you didn't. But here's the question I want you to sit with today. Just because you can do something doesn't mean that you should. Now, I need to be very clear about something. You probably know this already, but God has given you free will. You have the ability to make your own choices every single day. Nobody is controlling your hands. Nobody is forcing your decisions. No one is commanding you to do anything. You are a free person. But here is where a lot of people, and even some Christians, get the wrong idea about this. Just because you are free to choose does not mean that you are free from its consequences. You can eat whatever you want. Your body still pays for it. You can say whatever you feel like saying. People will still remember. You can even walk away from God if you want. All I know is that your life will still show the choice that you chose. Freedom of choice doesn't get rid of the results of cause and effect. And the sooner you realize this, the better your decisions will be. Let me give you the most obvious example first. Let's say you are flat broke. I'm talking about negative bank account. The lights are almost off. Rent is due. And you're eating whatever is in the fridge, like rice and ketchup, because you literally had nothing else left to eat. Oh, I never did that. No, that's not me. I know it's oddly specific, but that's not me. Trust me. It's not me. And someone puts the idea in your head that, hey, you could just go rob a bank. And technically, yeah, you could. People rob banks all the time. Well, maybe not all the time, but you wouldn't be the first person to rob a bank, and you most likely will not be the last. But let me ask you one thing. When you get caught, which you most likely will, are you really going to act surprised when they start putting handcuffs on you? Are you going to stand there confused about why your choices led you to jail? But if you honestly think about it, that's exactly what we do sometimes. We make a choice, we live in that choice, and when the consequences of those choices show up, we act surprised and shocked. But I don't want you walking away from this video thinking that, oh, this only relates to bad stuff, because it honestly works the same way in the other direction. You can choose to help someone today. You can give when you have nothing. You can show up for people even when nobody told you to do that. Watch what happens over time when you make those choices consistently. Watch how God starts moving in your life in ways that you did not expect. Watch who starts showing up for you, and watch how opportunities will open up for you from doors that you never even knocked on. The same law that says a bad seed will bring bad harvest also says that a good seed will bring good things into your life as well. But here's the part that I actually want to spend time on. The bank robbery example that I used, that was an easy one. Nobody watching this is planning on robbing a bank. At least, I hope not. You're not planning on robbing a bank, right? You're not planning on robbing a bank, right? You're not planning on robbing a bank, right? The obvious bad choices aren't the dangerous ones, but the small ones that you keep justifying every single time that you do them. You can keep watching that stuff late at night. I mean, nobody's in the room with you, right? You can keep entertaining that situation that you know is not from God, but it feels good, right? You can keep putting off what God has called you to do, but you're comfortable right now, so you don't have to do it, right? You can stay in that conversation that you know is pulling you further and further away from the person that you are truly meant to be. You can. You absolutely can. But what I want you to know is that every single one of those choices is a seed. And most times, the harvest that you are living in right now is because of the choices and seeds that you planted before. It could be 2 weeks ago, 5 days ago, 6 months ago, or even 10, 15 years ago. All of those choices could be what you are living in right now. In 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 23, it says, I have the right to do anything you say, but not everything is beneficial. I have the right to do anything, but not everything is constructive. Read that again. It says that I have the right to do anything. That is true, but is it beneficial? That is the question that you have to answer. And the question that you need to ask yourself before you make any decision is not just, can I do this, but should I do this? And there's one more thing that I want to say before I close this out, because this honestly changed the way that I make my own decisions as well. The choices that you make when no one else is watching, that is what builds you up or tears you down. Not the version of you that you present to people. Not the version of you that you perform, whether it's at church or at work or online, but the private you, the real you. What you need to know is this. God is not just worried about what you do in public, but what you do in private as well. Because sooner or later, the private will become public, and soon everyone will know who the true you really is. Now, I know what some of you are thinking, or what you have thought before. You're probably thinking,
I know that God forgives. His grace covers me. All I have to do is ask for forgiveness.
and as you said, He forgives. I'm not here to argue that. But too many people, even Christians, forget that forgiveness and consequences are not the same thing. They say, oh, God died for my sins, so that means I can sin as much as I want. I'll just go and say that I'm sorry later. But think about this. David was forgiven when he committed adultery, but he still lost his child. The thief on the cross, he was forgiven and was able to get into the kingdom of heaven, but he still died on the cross. Forgiveness restores your relationship with God, but it does not erase the consequences of your actions. So stop using grace as a reason to make choices that you already know are wrong. So here's what I want you to leave with. You are free. God built you that way. Every single day that you wake up, you have the freedom to do whatever you choose with your body, your words, your time, your energy. Nobody is taking that away from you. But the fastest way to destroy yourself is having freedom with no wisdom. So before you make your next decision, the big ones or even small, I want you to ask yourself this one question. Just because I can, should I? It's as simple as that. Your future is being built right now in the choices that you may feel are small and with the seeds that you may feel are invisible. So plant good seeds. All right? I will see you, God willing, in the next video. Eating rice with ketchup. Eating rice with ketchup because you had nothing else left in the fridge. That I didn't do that though. I was just thinking of like an example. Yeah.